Hey guys, Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training. I did a video yesterday with Draco. His owner calls him Drakeo, but Draco's being worked by several people. Well, the owner, obviously, he's getting done bite work with Kevin, who's in the LA area with his dog School. And so the dog is being developed with a kind of a community attitude. And the owner really wants to get into the focused heel, wants to do PSA with him. And he used to have Rocky. That's where he remembers Rocky. And he sold Rocky to a guy in Texas, and Rocky's no longer with us from what I understand. The guy was running him too heavy in the heat and doing all kinds of shit to him, and the dog died of bloat. It happens to everybody, but I look at this guy as being an ignorant idiot that overworked the dog, and the dog died for no reason. But whatever. This is part of it. When you sell a dog, the dog's no longer in your hands. There's not much you can do. And so Rocky went from that other trainer that was a PUFTA trainer at the time, but he's been working 2-3 years now, building his business. I wouldn't call him a PUFTA trainer anymore, okay? But when you come out and you first hang up a shingle and you go, I'm all that and then some, and you act like you're all that and then some, and you build a business and you're doing it on the dime of the customer because you really don't know your rear end from a hole in the ground, it's irritating. All right, so what I want to do, come here, yep, good boy, hup, couche, is talk a little bit more about some other things. Let's not get off subject here. I was going to stay on subject for what we're talking about. A lot of times you will have people that will do their training and they're building towards a BH, let's say, or AKC trainers are going through their AKC good citizenship, which I think is a joke because it's all about money for AKC, and it's such a small, trivial amount of criteria that's in that good citizen. But for the general public, it's a good thing. Yep, good boy. So Draco is maturing. I think he's about 9-10 months old now, maybe even 11 months, but he's a slow maturing guy. He's a little bit smaller. He reminds me of Rocky. He's a small little guy. He's gonna grow. So he is at that stage right now, developmental wise. Couche, good. See if I can keep him down here with me as I yak, and that's the hard part because they get into that voice tone, remember? No, couche, no. You're gonna learn to relax when I yak. Good boy. Okay, so a lot of times when you're doing that, let's say you're going for a Schutzen 1 or whatever your levels up the ladder as you're climbing up the ladder, you get done working your tail off and you get critiqued by the judge and you have some areas that you need work on and you start to see, and you know you're going to keep going after this stuff. So what you do when after you've done your title and you've tried to work towards it, you either failed or you've succeeded, but you still want to come back and get that 2, and then you want to go to a 3. Every time you do that, you're going to kind of step back, you're going to evaluate where you're at, and you're going to critique it, and then your most good trainers are going to break it apart and then build it back again better. You see what I'm saying? So you back up and then you come in, and that's true with anything in training. A lot of times the best way to tackle something as you're trying to go forward is to back up. Back up a couple steps, deconstruct it, take it apart and build it. That's where we're at with this little guy. He wants to do focused heel real bad. I am not the most prolific focused heel trainer. I just am not. Sure, I can teach a dog to do some fancy stuff. It looks good. I have my own criteria, but if I was to go out and get judged by that judge on the field for Schutzen or maybe a sport of any other sport, I'd be blowing purple Twinkies. I'm going to be tripping over my blankety blank, believe me, okay? It's because I'm not used to competing. I'm going to get nervous. I'm going to get scared. My emotions are going to go right from me down the leash, and I'm going to failure. And I expect that to happen if I really wanted to compete. I don't enjoy competing, so I probably won't ever do it, but who knows? I may show up one day and say, I'm going to show these guys. You know, if I get enough resources around me and we get enough decoys, I can actually build a product because I have that. In PSA, you've got to have 3 if they've created something. Think about it. You've got to have about 3 or 4 or 5 different decoys doing all that stimulation and teaching the dog to be distracted by that as they build that animal so he can handle all that pressure type stuff that they put on him with the decoy bouncing at him and shaking the thing. That's not a real world type of thing. But it builds a lot of strength in the animal when they can do that, and then trainers get that good that they can teach the dog to do that. So there's some very good things in it, you know what I mean? I look at it, I said it once before, where I was talking about What is the breeding program going to look like when you have 3 or 4, 5, 8 years, 10 years down the line? You look at PSA with all that pressure they put on the dog through all the stages. You know, PSA 3 is not an easy thing to get. There's only 2 or 3 of them that have accomplished it, maybe 4 or 5 at the max, right? And there's more getting out there all the time because now that the sport is growing and more people are starting to learn how to build their dogs towards the sport of PSA. But never forget it's a sport. Real world does not have predicted outcomes, right? There is no outcome that you can predict. Dogs have to be trained in such a way that they can handle themselves when they're in the middle of a building going after the bad guy and the handler's out here, you know what I mean? And it takes him 5, 10 minutes to finally find out where the dog's at and work his way through that building that maybe the bad guy has squirmed his way into, you know? So back up, come at things and reconstruct. So that's what we're going to do with him. I've got a bunch of pieces. I got on last night. I started typing in some things on YouTube. Keep in mind, couché. On YouTube, you can find anything. But for you guys that are laymen, that are just learning to train, I'm going to tell you right now that you can't get the same use that I can out of those videos. Why? Because I understand it a lot more than you. And you might see what they're doing and your perspective, your perception based on what you're getting fed with that video is different than mine. Right? I've been with facilities with 3 or 4 trainers, 5 trainers. I've seen hundreds, thousands of trainers over the years where I've watched them. You know what the difference is? They all have different styles, different things that they're going after criteria-wise, right? We all have that. How is it that that guy can train a dog and do things totally different than I do, but we still came out with the same product? You know what it is? Consistency, pattern. The dog will figure it out. That's why I think Bailey said something, made a comment. It's not an exact quote of it, but it's something along the lines that anybody can train a dog. All he's got to do is have the time. You know, the time and the consistency and the patience to do it. And that's all it takes. Dogs will figure it out. That's why they're man's best friend. They're flexible. Huh? Yeah. So that's what we're doing with him right now. We're going to back up, reconstruct, and a lot of this is going to be into the luring that his owner's already got him. His owner's into luring real heavy, and he wants a perfect head position, all this stuff. I can't give him all that, but I can give him a lot of the other stuff with it. So we're going to go to food. Good boy, good. Come on. Yeah, yeah, go, good. All right, oh, yeah, good. And I also want to get to a pattern of charging the dog. So we're going to get out here and I'm going to start doing things like saying, yep, good boy, good. All right, good boy. Hey, you ready, ready? You ready, ready? Yes, good boy. He doesn't know this yet, but he will. I will charge this marker where I'll say, you ready, ready, and I'll have my pump up word. And when you go to the field and you're going to go compete, you go to the gate, you say something special to him, you get him pumped up. With him, I'm going to say, ready, ready, and then we're going to pump him up and get him ready to go start working, right? So that's going to be a pattern and a routine that we start. Draco, yes, good boy, good. All right, good boy, good. Good boy, Draco. Draco, yes, good boy, good. Yeah, good boy. Draco, good, good. Oh, yeah, nope, nope, I see. Yes, good boy. So there's a lot of stuff that I've got to put together in this puzzle. But my mind is clear now after watching a few videos and thinking it through and realizing that it's time right now to deconstruct, come back at things and put the pieces together. There's all kinds of pieces to this puzzle. And we've talked about that a lot. Draco, oh, yeah. Yes, good boy, good. And we're going to just keep building these pieces until we get what we need to put it all back together again, right? But first, I've got to put all these pieces together. So there's things like out. Good boy, good. Here you go. And I keep telling the owner, and this is the biggest thing that a lot of new trainers have to learn, patience. The dog will give it to you. You just got to wait. Every dog matures differently. They're a different critter altogether. Back, yes, good. And so you just got to wait for it to happen, right? Good boy, Draco. All right, so we're going to practice on this. Remember, pieces, right? Good boy. Here. Good. Back. Good. Yes, good. So, good boy. Good. Yeah, good boy. Back. Good boy. Yes, good boy. Good. So we're going to keep putting all these little pieces together, separated. Work on each one, right? And then we'll start putting it together and constructing it back over. Good boy, good. Yes, good boy, good. Yes, Good. Gonna get my clicker out. So that's where my head's at. I was talking about yesterday not having as much to talk about because I've done all this stuff and it's regurgitating. But once I get a dog in my hands, I start thinking about it. It's something to talk about, right? Yes, good boy, good. Look at you, knocked over my tee. All right. All right, guys. Mark Ferrasci, ProTech Dog Training with Draco. Good boy, Draco. Good boy, Draco. We got a lot of work to do, buddy. We got a lot of work to do. Yay, good boy. Good boy. Good. Draco, out. Yes, good boy. Good. Good boy. Draco, out. Yes, good boy. Good. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Draco, out. Good. Done. We're done. Good boy. Done. Yay, that's a good boy. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.